Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for turning out today. A little bit short notice, sorry for the slight delay. The purpose of today is to really keep everyone up to speed with what's happening with the British super middleweight scene, with obviously the #1 contender in the IBF, James Degale and Carl Froch. A lot of you probably would have seen by now this morning that Carl Froch has officially vacated his IBF title. And the situation now is that James Degale, being the #1 challenger, will fight the next available contender for the vacant title. That person is Andre Dirrell, and negotiations have now commenced with Andre Dirrell to fight James Degale for the vacant title. A lot of discussions, and I've seen some stuff on Twitter saying that's secured for April the 25th. Not the case. April the 25th is the date that we have booked at the O2 Arena for the date we believe that James Degale will fight for the vacant IBF world title. I think with the support of the British public and the crowd revenue at the O2, and also the support of Sky Sports, I don't think there's anybody in the rankings that we couldn't get to London for that date. So that's the proposed date from us. Negotiations will continue with Al Heyman, with Andre Dirrell. That's already started. If it's not Andre Dirrell, then they'll continue down the list. If Dirrell steps aside or doesn't want the fight, it becomes Gilberto Ramirez, and so on. So obviously James has done a lot of waiting. You know, that fantastic performance at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 against Brandon Gonzalez. He waited patiently. Then we felt like he needed another fight. That took place in Liverpool against Marco Antonio Periban. Again, a wonderful performance there. And now he's going to get his shot. He's waited patiently, like I said. His performances have got better and better. His profile has continued to rise over the last 6 months. And now he's really buzzing. And his message to us is, I don't care who it is, just get me anyone for that world title. And now he's going to get it. So we have now 30 days to negotiate with Andre Dirrell, the next in line. It won't go 30 days. We're pushing as hard as we can to make the fight or push for immediate purse bids for that fight. And you know, we believe that on April the 25th, James Degale will be the new IBF middleweight champion of the world. I'm going to ask the team to say a few words, starting with Ambrose. Obviously, it's been you've been pushing me quite hard. You've all been very patient, but now we get to the stage where the path is very, very clear.
Yeah, let me say this, because I'm not sure that James will say it. In many respects, 7 months of James' career have been wasted. He's been fully prepared. The commitment going into Wembley and joining that extraordinary event told us that James was going to meet the winner. And if you care to look back on the images from Sky, you'll see when James is congratulating Carl Froch over the ring, Carl was actually mouthing to him, I've got a voluntary. The best moment of his life, he decided he wasn't going to fight James. Only Carl knows the reason why he's chosen not, but that shouldn't detract from what James has achieved today. You know, Olympic gold medalist, striving now to create history. Let's be honest, history. No British fighter ever has won Olympic boxing gold medal and gone on to become world professional champion. That's uppermost in James's thoughts. And therefore, as was just said, James doesn't care who it is that he fights. If it was Andre Ward, then that's who he's going to fight, and more importantly, that's who he's going to beat. So, he's here. I hope you take the opportunity to ask all the questions you need to, because this guy, and don't blush, he's a hero. Make no mistake about it. And I'm well versed enough to say that to you. And if you don't know why, well, we can talk about it afterwards. James Degale is the best 168 pounder in the world, bar none.
Thank you, Ambrose. Jimmy, obviously you've seen some great performances from James over the last 6 months. Your confidence in James just continues to grow and grow. You've got massive belief that now's the time where he'll become world champion.
Yeah, I just endorse basically what Ambrose said, that watching James on an everyday basis from when he turned pro to where he is now. I watched some of his fights literally the other day, and he's gone from a boy to a man, literally. And when you see just some of the stuff he does in sparring, and you've seen what glimpses of it against Gonzalez and that, all I can say is I don't blame Carl Froch for not taking the fight, but I just wish he'd have let James know very early when they've had this frustration, because James was, you know, if you speak to James on his own away, he genuinely don't care. He fights Froch, Groves, like Dirrell. He really is. He's a fighting man. You know, And once he wins this title, he also becomes the most successful British fighter in the history of the sport. If you check your books and you look right back at his career, no one has ever done what James is about to do. Once he wins that world title, and then he's already said that is history right there. And his record from junior right through to senior to win the Olympics, and what he's done in the pros, and looking at he was boxing 12 rounds in his 7th professional contest, he is a phenomenal. Enjoying wise he's there.
James, obviously, although there has been frustrations, I feel a very positive 6 months for you still. Know you enjoyed Wembley, know you enjoyed Liverpool, but ultimately you want to be on the next level and levels above that. And now Dirrell is certainly a fight, 2 elite super middleweights. Someone, again, you said you're more than happy to face, and that's why we really push forward now to get this done.
And you know, I'm easy. I'm willing to fight anyone because you're boxing for a world title. Whoever you box is going to be hard. So yeah, I'm easy, man. I'm easy. But finally, my chance is here. It's here. Next fight, I'll be boxing for the IBF world title. So yeah, I'm just excited, and I can't wait for it.
Obviously, it's come around. People, you know, the obvious sell is history in the making. First UK Olympic gold medalist to win a world title. You feel this is just part of you know, the natural progress for you now? I know it's a huge deal, a huge fight, but massive confidence going into the fight.
Massive. Obviously, if it is Dirrell, that's a tricky, hard fight. 2 good southpaws, 2 probably the best 168 fighters out there, probably, apart from Ward, obviously. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to the fight. It's gonna be tricky, but trust me, I'm making history. The first British Olympic gold medalist to win the world title, and yeah.
Thank you, guys. We're in a very tight room here, so we're in a nice chatting community. We're going to open the floor to questions.
James, I know the hip injury is cleared up, but can you tell me what you think the biggest improvements are you've made in the last 2 years?
I'm always learning in the gym. I'm always learning. Me and Jim are working on different stuff constantly. But you don't understand that groin operation I had 2 operations on my groin. That just done me for 1.5 years. Since I boxed Sanavia in Denmark a couple of years ago, I've been injured since then. So it feels like probably watching my last 2 fights, I've made loads of improvements, but it's not. It was my injury. I couldn't move. I couldn't punch hard. I couldn't twist properly. And now that it's cleared and it's been fixed, you're seeing the real me. So yeah, I'm always improving in the gym, but that was a bad injury. But now it's sorted. We're seeing the real me.
Guys?
Eddie, can you confirm or deny that Carl Froch reneged on a verbal agreement to fight James in a fight involving £4 million?
No, I don't. I feel like a verbal agreement was made for that fight. It was a fight Carl considered. I think that he knows what a tricky fight James is. He knows, you'll see from his statement how highly he rates James. He thinks he's a fantastic fighter. I think that Carl is a fighter that relies on desire and hunger to win fights, sometimes more than natural ability and skill. And I think if he's at this stage of his career not up for a fight, I don't think he's going to take it. You know, we were very close to the Chavez fight. He could have taken that fight, albeit with an injury. But I think previous fights with more hunger, he may have gone through with that fight. So I don't think there's any pure guarantee that Carl Froch will fight again. But obviously, if it does, it won't be till the summer anyway.
So there was no verbal agreement?
No.
Ambrose, how disappointed are you that James didn't get to achieve this goal against Froch?
I won't ever mince words. You know, Eddie's being diplomatic. I've been fortunate to be around in an era when fighters fought, and that's why their reputations become so manifest. They easily resonate when people are talking about great fighters. And I think Carl Froch had an opportunity to become a great fighter. He didn't need necessarily to beat James Degale. He just needed to have fought him, and he didn't. And you know, James at one point said that, you know, I think, to be honest, Carl was a bit of a coward for not fighting me. That might be too strong in the general terms, but then, you know, we're a nation that pride ourselves with having come through wars and all sorts of difficulties. But if you refuse to fight, you're a coward, and he refused to fight James. You know, it's all very well looking down. I sincerely hope he doesn't retire, because James is going to go in and annex the world title, and if Carl is still there in front of him, then he'll have another opportunity. Once, you know, is a mistake. Twice is deliberate. So I'm not disappointed, because I know James's sole goal is to become the first, the history maker, as a standard bearer. This wonderful nation that we are part of, has never, ever produced an Olympic boxing gold medalist who's gone on to become world champion. Just think of some of the fighters that we've had in this country. It's amazing. So this is all about James Degale. It's not about Matchroom, it's not about Ambrose, it's not about Jim, it's about James Degale. And James' goal was, whoever is in my way, I will eliminate, for the purpose of achieving what I set out to do. So that's it. That fight may materialise down the road. We just don't know. But it's such a shame that it didn't happen. It really, really is, because now was the right time.
Jim, regarding training camp for James, when will that get underway? And what do you really think is different this time around?
James is phenomenal. Problem with James is holding him back sometimes. He's so because the day is in time, he's already ticking over, he's already sparring, he's already doing bits and pieces. Then give him a few days off now, and then it'll regroup, restart. But he's always in the gym anyway, he's always ticking over, and it's just a matter of him holding him where he is and then bringing him. He's probably on a 7 or 8 right now, to be honest. And then by the time he boxes and he hits what he's going to be over the next 12 weeks, whatever it is, then he'll be in absolutely phenomenal shape. And all the targets that I set out for James when he turned pro many, many years ago now, he's now hitting all them targets, and for this fight, he hit every single one of them. And he knows before he goes in, it ain't no joke. He knows what's expected of him, and that's why sometimes he goes into himself about it before he gets ready for a big fight. And he's so motivated for this fight, and he doesn't genuinely care who's in the other corner. He just wants to be world champion. He's always wanted to be world champion. He wants to create that history. So the problem in this fight is probably holding him back in training, to be honest, because he's on it, he's proper on it. Anything you ask him to do, he'll do, and some.
Okay, guys. Obviously, everyone here is available for one-on-ones. I think James got a live with Sky Sports as well now. So just to remind you of the situation now, the IBF will send out a letter when they wake up for negotiations to begin between James Degale and the next available challenger, which is Andre Dirrell. Those negotiations have actually already started. We'll have 28 days to do so, and then there'll be purse bids. It's not going 28 days. We can call for purse bids any time. I believe a deal will be reached. If not, we'll move down to Ramirez and so on. But as I said, with the support that James has got, I'm very confident that April the 25th will be the date that James Degale becomes the IBF champion of the world. So thank you for coming, and await further news. Thank you very much. Sorry, Ambrose.
It's James' birthday today. You won't thank me for saying it, but Ed, great present.
Well, listen, you guys have been patient, and obviously I didn't want to embarrass him with that, because I know he's a shy guy. But no, it's good news, and I think James deserves it. You know, I think over the past he's had his fights with obviously George Groves and so forth, and I think sometimes he's got the bad end of the stick from the British public, a few boos, and I think the way he's conducted himself, particularly over the last 6 months, makes people believe that, you know, he is a true performer and a great athlete. And of course, there's been plenty talked about the George Groves fight, and you know, he had the opportunity to make that fight, and that's another story, but we won't go there. But I think everyone in this room probably believes that James Degale will beat George Groves now. I think most do. And hopefully that's a fight that will happen down the line. There's some huge British super fights out there, but for now, James Degale's got to go and become champion of the world. And whoever it is, but first stop, Andre Dirrell. Thank you very much.